Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we have come up with another interesting topic that has been going on in news for past few days. Is about a test that is conducted by Russia called as Russia's anti-satellite test, and we are going to discuss about that how this anti-satellite weapon testing in the space has wider implications on whole humanity or whole globe. So let us try to understand this topic in more detail. So first of all, the reason why we are going to discuss this test is because Russia recently, last week, has launched actually a direct ASAT anti-satellite weapon and it has shot down its own older satellite that is called as Cosmos 1408, and the anti-satellite mission or anti-satellite system, Russia has given it the name of New Doll. So two important names are here important, that is New Doll anti-satellite weapon system and the Cosmos satellite. Cosmos 1408, the satellite that was shot down. And the reason why this has attracted the attention of all different countries, all other nations, especially United States of America, is because this has created a huge debris or huge, we can say, debris due to destruction of the satellite, especially in the low Earth orbit as per the US Space Command. And that is why US official has given very sharp and antagonistic reaction on this mission, because they believe that such kind of space debris, that is whenever it is created, actually because of their proximity to the International Space Station, they can endanger the astronauts living there. I hope you already know that International Space Station is a collaborative space station where 6 to 7 astronauts continually live in the outer space and conduct a lot of experiments, scientific experiment. And here currently we have International Space Station accommodates astronauts both from Russia as well as United States of America. Apart from that, some other countries, European countries are also there. Now let us try to understand that what is the anti-satellite test or anti-satellite weapon. So anti-satellite weapons are actually space weapons that are mainly designed to incapacitate or destroy satellites either for strategic or for tactical purposes. What it means is that suppose, as we know that in times of space warfare, in times of growing capacity of space of different countries, there may be possibilities that maybe Russia and US go to war, or China or India go to war, or such countries when go to war. We know that there is a very high level of dependency on space today, especially for military purposes, either for communication or for navigation, and that is why the countries are moving more toward anti-satellite weapons so that they can destroy such satellites which are capable of or which are helpful in military communication, and thus incapacitate the enemy state or enemy nation. And as of now, if you look at this, that in actual warfare, anti-satellite weapons have not been used. It has just been used, or the capacity has been demonstrated just as a show of force by currently 4 countries are there which have currently capabilities of anti-satellite weapons. That is India, Russia, China, and United States, because they have successfully shot down their own satellites for demonstration of their capacity. Now, the Russia and USA had this capacity for quite a long period of time, since 1980s, but China had developed this capacity in year 2007, and India has developed this capacity or successfully tested its anti-satellite weapons capacity in year 2019. Now, if you look at what is the main role of anti-satellite weapon, so it can act as a defensive measure against an adversary's space-based and nuclear weapons. Apart from that, it can act as a force multiplier for nuclear first strike, or as a countermeasure against any adversary's anti-ballistic missile defense system, and as well as it can also act as a asymmetric counter to a technologically superior adversary and a counter value weapon in terms of war. Now, the reason why we are going to discuss, or why this issue is going to be discussed or is being discussed in the international community for a quite long period of time, because if you look at this effect of this, so as we discussed, Russia has itself destroyed its own satellite Cosmos 1408. So as we can see, satellite was a single object orbiting around the Earth. It was defunct satellite, but as we can see, after the collision, it has split into several parts, or we can say large number of space chunk or space debris has been created, which can actually cause problem to other functioning satellite as well as the ISS or International Space Station. And that is why the concern relates to that, as per the US Space Command, almost 1500 trackable piece of debris has been generated due to this experiment, and it is believed that hundreds of thousands of pieces will also must have been generated, which cannot be tracked as their size is very, very small. And this is also for the first time Russia has conducted this kind of test, because as per US Space Command, almost 11 to 12 such tests were conducted before also by Russia, but what they did before, that they imagined that there is satellite orbiting around that particular place, and they used to launch their weapon there. And if the weapon passes through that point, they assume that it has been successful, as it has in real time or in actual times, it can actually destroy the satellite. But it is the first time after 11-12 such attempts that Russia actually chose actual satellite like Cosmos 1400, and actually they have chosen a very big satellites. That is also a matter of concern, because they could have also choose, as per US, they could also have choose a small satellite if they just wanted to demonstrate their ability to target such satellites. But they have chosen a large satellite, and that is why, of course, the amount of debris or number of particles or number of pieces of satellite that will be generated will be very huge. Then Secure World Foundation, which is another international organization, they have said that such kind of orbital debris that is created by destruction of any satellite has or have an indiscriminate risk to every one satellite in the orbit, endangering critical space-based services. And not only that, as we have discussed, it also can we can say threaten the human lives. On two space stations are there we have right now. One is IAS, that is a collaborative space station between Russia, US, Canada and the European Space Agency, as well as China's own Tiangong space station. So these are the space stations, as you can see from here. This is ISS orbiting around the Earth somewhere in the lower Earth orbit of 400 to 500 kilometers, and this is also Tiangong, that is the Chinese space station. Apart from that, if you look at this, here we have large number of, in this diagram you can see this is the Earth, and you can see the amount of space debris that is continuously orbiting around the Earth and is threat to the functioning satellite due to last 5-6 decades of continuous space activities being done by the different countries. And in future, of course, this debris will keep on growing bigger and bigger in size. So if you look at the concerns from this video, we can see the amount of space debris has been increasing since 1950s and could be a threat to any functioning satellite as if they collide. And our dependency on position, navigation, financial transactions, weather warnings, and even on agriculture, we have dependency on satellites. And at any point, if the satellites are hit by any of the pieces of rubbish or space debris, they can be destroyed, stop working, and it have a significant impact on the whole humanity, not on any particular nation. Now, let me coming to the point that what is the place of India as far as the anti-satellite weapon is concerned. So, somewhere in 2019, the Defence Research Development Organization of India has conducted a successful test of anti-satellite weapon, and it was named as Mission Shakti. And after this, India joined the league of 3 countries, which were earlier Russia, US and China, and became the 4th one to achieve such feat, and that too in the first try. If you look at China, China failed 3 times, and in 4th time they were successful in anti-satellite weapon, but India the first time has achieved this feat. Now the target of India, as far as the Mission Shakti is concerned, is the satellites which are mainly surveillance satellites, which are rotating in the, or revolving actually in the low Earth orbit, which have imaging as well as electronic intelligence capability. So in terms of war or in times of war, India has now this ability to destroy enemy satellite which are capable of doing such functions in the low Earth orbit. The orbit is also very important here. You have to keep in mind that what is the place where satellite is being destroyed. If satellite is being destroyed in very higher orbit, then they will rotate or revolve around the Earth for a significant higher amount of time or higher period of time. And that is why higher the orbit where it destroys the satellite, for more longer time, you will have the problem of the space debris. So that is why if you compare the mission of India, mission of China, China launched anti-satellite weapon in 2007. So they destroyed the satellite in the highest orbit. Russia's launch has been in a slightly lower orbit, and India's launch was in the lowest orbit. We can see the shortest distance from the Earth. So the pieces of debris that was generated by India's launch was also very less, and in a very small period of time, you can say next 3 to 4 years, they will enter into the Earth's orbit, where they will destroy it due to friction by the atmosphere. Comparatively, Russia's space debris will keep on orbiting for a quite longer period of time, maybe 10 years, 12 years, as China's debris that they have generated in 2007 is still revolving around the Earth. So that is why we have to keep in mind that the distance between distance of the satellite which is being destroyed from the Earth is also important. Then if we try to understand do we have any treaty that governs such kind of activities in the space on an international scale. So one treaty that comes into mind is something that is called as Outer Space Treaty, and as we can see there are more than 100 parties as of now, and all the green colored countries here on this map represent the countries which are party to the Outer Space Treaty, and that we can say India, Russia and US, all these 3 are, as well as China, we can say all these major countries are party to this treaty. So the Outer Space Treaty are, and actually formally it is also called as Treaty on the Principles Governing the Activities of Space in the Exploration and Use of Outer Space, including Moon and other celestial objects, and it was the first multilateral treaty that actually formed the basis of international space law. And it entered into force on October 10th, 1967, and as far as the weaponization of space is concerned, it specifically prohibits use of nuclear weapons or any weapons of mass destruction from being placed in the Earth's orbit. However, this is where the lacuna lies, as it does fail to discuss kinetic bombardment weapons. For example, if you try to understand, anti-satellite weapons does not uses any kind of fuel or any kind of we can say payload to destroy the enemy satellite, but it simply destroyed the satellite by the sheer use of the momentum power it has or the kinetic power it has due to its rotation or its speed around the Earth. So that is why here lacuna lies, where the Outer Space Treaty does not or we can say this anti-satellite weapons does not come under the orbit of Outer Space Treaty. The other important provisions of this treaty is that they say that exploration and use of outer space shall be carried out for the benefit and interest of all countries, not any particular countries, and the outer space shall be province of all mankind. This is very important, that because it says that outer space is not any national territory, it is not subject to any national appropriation, and all countries on the earth, that means all humankind, has equal access, equal rights over the uses of outer space. And that is why outer space is also termed as something that we know as a global commons. For example, we have international sea or high seas as we call it, Antarctica, outer space. These three are the best example of global commons, where any country can go explore and use it for their own benefit, mainly for the peaceful uses as per Outer Space Treaty. Also, it says that the astronauts, or they also called as cosmonaut, shall not be regarded or should not be regarded as the envoy of any particular nation, but they shall be treated as the envoys of the whole mankind. Apart from that, it also puts responsibility, that any responsibility or any activities that can cause some harm in the outer space, the state that is responsible for such mission will be held responsible and liable for any damage that is caused due to this. Apart from that, it also says that states shall avoid harmful contamination of space and celestial bodies. And space debris that is generated by anti-satellite weapons are example of harmful contamination of space. So now we try to understand that the era where the space weapons is becoming a norm and where the more and more countries are going toward the space to increase their capacity either for peaceful purposes or for military purposes, what should be the way forward in the context of the launch of anti-satellite weapons by the countries. So first of all, we have to understand that rather than focusing on destroying the satellite, the focus should be on ability to forcibly deorbit the rock satellite instead of destroying them. That means what we can try to do, we can provide a push, or we can build a such mechanism by which we can deorbit the satellites. And if satellites are deorbited, that means they will not revolve around the earth anymore and they will become defunct. So that is also one way how we can damage incapacitate the enemy nation without actually creating the space debris. And this way, actually, if you look at this, the same approach we are following for the asteroids also, the asteroids which are on the collision course toward Earth. The NASA has launched recently a DART mission. We have made a video on DART mission also. If you're interested, you can go and look on this video, and you can see that NASA is actually targeting the asteroid, that by colliding the asteroid, they are trying to deorbit it. And if they are able to deorbit the asteroid, it will deviate from its original path and the collision can be avoided. So same mechanism we can try to build here for the satellite also. Apart from that also, there is a significant need to improve the anti-ballistic missile system, so that rather than waiting for our satellite to be destroyed and then in revenge we destroy the satellite of enemy countries, we can intercept the foreign ASAT missile before it can complete the mission. So that is also one good approach we can think about strategically or militarily. And here we have to understand that what Mahatma Gandhi ji has said very rightfully, that an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. So similarly, if destroying each other satellite will not have any, will cause significant damages to not only the military capacity of the country, but also have a very wider ramifications on the whole human progress in the civilian or peaceful uses also. So that is why it does not offer any constructive solution, and that is why we should move forward for devising some other harmless ways of building our strategic capacity or military capacity. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe. We'll come soon with another interesting current affair topic. Till then, take care and thank you very much.